welcome to ELA 10 or ELA 10 Honors. Our first formal assignment is going to be telling us about you as a hero during COVID-19. We've all been heroes in either big ways or small ways, and it's really you sharing a story about yourself during that time, during this time actually, since it's still ongoing. By the way, everything that you write is going to be able to be seen by your class as well as publishable, so make sure that you share what you're comfortable with. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with looking at this journey that you or we all have gone on, and it's called the Heroine's Journey. And Joseph Campbell came up with that. But before we actually start to see exactly what we have to do, let's go ahead and take a look at an introduction video on this subject. So I'm just going to go ahead and take myself into the background and fade out, and let's go ahead and get this story started.
What do Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo all have in common with the heroes of ancient myths? What if I told you they are all variants of the same hero? Do you believe that? Joseph Campbell did. He studied myths from all over the world and published a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, retelling dozens of stories and explaining how each represents the monomyth or hero's journey. So, what is the hero's journey? Think of it as a cycle. The journey begins and ends in the hero's ordinary world, but the quest passes through an unfamiliar, special world. Along the way, there are some key events. Think about your favorite book or movie. Does it follow this pattern? Status quo, that's where we start. 1 o'clock, call to adventure. The hero receives a mysterious message, an invitation, a challenge. 2 o'clock, assistance. The hero needs some help, probably from someone older, wiser. 3 o'clock, departure. The hero crosses the threshold from his normal, safe home and enters the special world and adventure. We're not in Kansas anymore. 4 o'clock, trials. Being a hero is hard work. Our hero solves a riddle, slays a monster, escapes from a trap. 5 o'clock, approach. It's time to face the biggest ordeal, the hero's worst fear. 6 o'clock, crisis. This is the hero's darkest hour. He faces death and possibly even dies, only to be reborn. 7 o'clock, treasure. As a result, the hero claims some treasure, special recognition, or power. 8 o'clock, result. This can vary between stories. Do the monsters bow down before the hero, or do they chase him as he flees from the special world? 9 o'clock, return. After all that adventure, the hero returns to his ordinary world. 10 o'clock, new life. This quest has changed the hero. He has outgrown his old life. 11 o'clock, resolution. All the tangled plot lines get straightened out. 12 o'clock, status quo, but upgraded to a new level. Nothing is quite the same once you're a hero.
Okay, so let me come on back in here, and let's talk a little bit about this. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so as you can see, what we have here is we have the cycle of the hero, okay, coming all the way around. And I'm going to be taking you step by step through this cycle, and you're going to be pausing the video, or the video is going to pause for you, especially if we're doing this in Actively Learn. And you're going to have to answer a question. And the question is going to be basically based on each step of the hero's journey that you went through, either in a big journey or a small journey, or whether it was just inside your head from the ordinary world to the extraordinary world, or whether it was actual where you stepped outside your house and had an adventure. And I'm sure we all have had many adventures. So let's go ahead and get this show started by starting with, once again, we're in the ordinary world, and we're going to be moving to the special world For most of us, the ordinary world is going to be our home. Special world's going to be going outside during COVID-19 crisis. Okay, so let's start with a call to action. But I'm going to put on my Jedi face if we're going to go ahead and start in our ordinary world. So here is Jedi Coach. And by the way, if you don't remember, you call me Coach, and because in my class, you're basically the teacher. You're teaching yourself, you're teaching others, and I'm guiding you through. Okay, so let's move into call to action. Move me down a little bit, and let's get forward. All right, so as you can see, there I am. Now I'm nice and small. As you can see, a call to action, you're basically in the familiar world. You're in your ordinary world. That's why we have this couch in the background. And call to action, basically, what's causing you to go out into that special world? Okay, so in terms of COVID, maybe it's right here. Maybe it's you need food, maybe, or you need toilet paper, or you're lacking supplies. You got to go out. Or maybe the action is you need to get fit. You've been sitting around too long in quarantine and need to figure out how to get fit. And maybe action might not actually be going outside into the outside world, but it might be just going in and starting exercising. It might be that to get tested, or you might have gotten sick, or some sort of medical concern that is going to cause you to go out into the world. It may be protests that are going on. Maybe that's what is getting you to venture outside, or maybe there's multiple things that would have started you in terms of why you would do that. So think about what got you to go out into the world, or to go outside of your ordinary mind or ordinary life to go have to do something. What is your call to action? So go ahead and pause the video here and write it down in complete sentences if the video doesn't pause by itself. And then we'll be back. We'll see you when we're into the next one. Okay, so now you've written down what is causing you to go outside of your ordinary world and into your special world, or into the special world. So next step we go to is refuse the call. I mean, that's pretty much what we do, right? Okay, when something like, oh, we got to go get food, but then like, well, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, or maybe we can have somebody bring it over, right? That's sort of the lazy part, right? If we come on over here, we just don't want to, it's kind of lazy, or maybe we're kind of afraid to go out there, right? I mean, there's a pandemic going on, right? Or maybe we just feel too beat up. Maybe, just life in quarantine has just beaten us up, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, okay? Or maybe we're just in gamer mode, okay? It's like, no, we just want to play all day, right? Even though we don't have like food or whatever, or we don't have fitness, or we don't have health, or whatever it is. So go ahead and how did you refuse the call to go to action? What was your first thing that you did? Go ahead and pause the video and write in complete sentence how you refused the action. Okay, you've got to do something, but you resist doing it. But luckily for us, we have people, and we have things that come along and prompt us and help us to do that. So let me go ahead and shift to ghost mode here, kind of little supernatural element here, kind of like that voice in the back of your head that's going to tell you to do what you got to do. And that basically takes us to supernatural aid. And now it doesn't really have to be supernatural. It doesn't have to be like, heaven coming down and giving you an order or whatever like that. Really, what are we looking at in terms of supernatural aid? On one hand, we could, maybe it's our friends, maybe it's our friends. So maybe our friends call us up and say, hey, you got to go, dude, man, you can't just sit there all day playing games, man. You got to go eat, go get food, go out to the store, put on a mask, okay? As a matter of fact, those are my friends. That's me right there in 9th grade or 10th grade. Actually, 10th grade. No, actually 9th grade. And those are my friends, and they help me out. All right, maybe the supernatural aid is somehow we get hand sanitizer so we feel like we can go out and we're going to be safe, right? Or maybe it's just maybe it's our physical condition. Maybe we're just too hungry. We got to go get food, or maybe it's too sick, and our body is our aid. Our body's telling us to go do something. Or maybe it is that voice inside of our head, whether it's ourselves, our deeper self, urging us to go forward, or maybe it's something else, some sort of divine intervention that's helping us to go out. So basically, somehow we get aid in one way or the other, and it kind of helps us or pushes us or nudges us to go forward. So go ahead and pause the video here, and go ahead and write down your 1-2 sentences, and I'll go ahead and zoom back in a moment. Okay, welcome back. Let me go full throttle here. And let's move into our next step of the hero's journey. And this is where we venture outside. This is where we actually go outside of our ordinary world and we go into that special world where we're going to be taking action on something. And this is a pretty simple one right here. It's basically called crossing the threshold. It's like, it's like crossing your door or your gate from your ordinary world to the outside world. Or if it's all in your head, it's crossing your ordinary way of yourself to something more challenging inside of yourself and how you see yourself and how you see the world. Or like, for example, if it's that you're going to get yourself fit, it's moving from your bed to go train or something like that. So basically this sentence you're going to write here is, what did you do? Did you crawl outside, right? We're looking for an action word here. Did you kind of trip forward, right? Or did you kind of go in ninja mode and sort of sneak outside, right? Or did you jump for joy, yes, I'm free, I'm outside, I'm in my home, my bedroom my whole time. Think of an action word and what exactly did you do? Okay, so go ahead and pause the video. And how did you go outside? What action did you do? Okay, you made it outside and you're into the special world. Let's go back and just review real quick where we've gone. So we had our call to action. We started out in the status quo, had our call to action. We refused the call. We got some sort of supernatural aid. And then we have just crossed the threshold into the special world. And so that takes us to challenges and temptations. So we're out there. What do we experience, right? We're going to have to basically go through different things that are going to be challenging. That's what makes our venture sort of special, okay? I mean, it could be, people around us, maybe they're not wearing masks. Maybe they're not doing the best, maybe they're making us feel uncomfortable. There's a challenge, right? Temptation, right? Temptation to touch our face or scratch our eye or temptation to basically just, kind of run back home or something, okay? Or maybe, if we're going out for food and we go to the store and boom, there's nothing there. Boy, I remember the first time I saw that. That was crazy, right? When the shelves were just bare. It was crazy. Or maybe, we just get too tired. It's just too much, especially we're going for that, trying to get that new body or get fit or even if we're sick ourselves and, just trying to push forward. So basically, what were the challenges and what were the temptations? You're kind of looking for two here, at least one challenge or one temptation, or two challenges, two temptations, or one of each, okay? So go ahead and write your 1 to 2 sentences, and I will see you on the flip side of this. Okay, and coming back, since they were challenges, I guess I really should have gone red mode. But with challenges, there's really some great things about challenges, and what challenges really help us to grow. Either we gain new skills, we gain new ways of being, but basically, as we hit each challenge, we grow. And so, what did you gain as you made it, as you fought through whatever challenge or temptation that came forward? Even if you succumbed to the challenge or the temptation, you eventually moved through it. And so, what did you gain? So we're looking for at least one or two skills and insights. So maybe you gained a new skill or insight, or maybe you just made it better. Okay. For example, maybe you learned a new skill. Okay, that you had to do. That's my son, by the way, Tayo. Or maybe you learned to believe in yourself, right? And to move you through. And that's my son, Tayo, when he was younger too. Or maybe, you gained a sort of a growth mindset, like for example, when you saw that there were no groceries on the shelves, right? And, it's like, well, do you just stop and go home, or do you figure out a way over the problem, a way around the problem, a way under the problem, right? Like maybe go to a different grocery store, okay? I remember when I was at Vaughn's and everything was gone, then I had to figure out what to do, and I went to the Japanese market, and they had what I needed, so it was great, so I figured it out. Or maybe just grabbed the bull by the horns and you rode it through it, okay? A friend of mine that I met up in Montana, this is what he used to do. Okay, so he always says, basically, if when you're one of the rodeo clowns, right, and you have to protect the riders when they fall from their broncs, from the bulls, right? And so, what do? You have to get in the way of the bull. But the best way to do it, if you want to be able to save yourself, you have to touch their horns, and you have to ride their horns with your hand, so they can't get you. Okay. So what skill or insight, insight like new understandings about things, what did you gain through the challenges or the temptations? And no worries, because I do have a list of skills that, as well as insights that we tend to gain from going through challenges. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to, again, take myself out, but you can pause the video here and figure out which ones you've done. But I'm just going to go ahead and speak for a little bit, just go through each one, okay? Actually, instead of taking myself out, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here, okay? So the first one up here is self-awareness. Maybe you gain some sort of new self-awareness. Go ahead and look at the skills there. Like, for example, maybe you're able to identify your emotions. Right up here, okay? Identify the emotions. Or maybe if we look up here, we got social awareness. Maybe you became more understanding of people. Maybe you understood what they're going through and started to respect them more. Or maybe you did, responsible decision making. Or if I move myself out of here, maybe you're able to learn to self-manage yourself through these challenges or temptations. Or finally, maybe you gain some sort of relationship skills, learn to communicate better, especially in trying to figure out how to get through these things. All right, so again, as I said, I'm going to go ahead and zoom myself out and allow you to take a look at this. Go ahead and pause the video here and figure out which skills or awarenesses or insights you gained, and go ahead and write them down. Coming back in, that's my favorite time. That's my favorite thing about, especially when you're thinking about college apps and resumes and stuff like that. They want to know that you went through challenges, and they want to know how you got through those challenges, and they want to know what you gained from those challenges. And so that's what it's all about, this journey. Okay, but I'm going to stay in red mode because that is going to take us to the ordeal. Okay. The ordeal, the moment in your journey where everything just seemed to be full on crazy, okay? Where you got challenged the most, okay? Maybe it was you just got wrapped up, right? Wrapped up in all your own emotions, or wrapped up in all your fears, or wrapped up in just feeling the fixed mindset that just things couldn't be fixed, right? Or maybe, maybe you actually got tested and, right, they stuck this thing down your nose. It's like, whoa, it's like going through insanity. This is the beast, the getting tested. Or maybe you went somewhere and you had to get something, but you had nothing. You had no money. You forgot your money, or you didn't have enough money to get what you needed. Okay. Or whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't money. Maybe it was something else that you needed to have to be able to get what you needed. Or maybe there were those people, right? There were those people that they just didn't back off, right? That's too close, man. You're just like, it's like maybe the people, or whatever it was, what was the climax, the most intense moment when you were out there? Go ahead and write that sentence down, 1 or 2 sentences. And again, I invite you to go ahead and, after you submit each answer, you can take a look at what your classmates wrote. Okay, coming back, and let's go ahead and switch over. This is where you kind of come out of the fire. It's almost like you had some sort of death during that ordeal, and you all of a sudden somehow you overcame, and you're out of the fire. And so that takes us to transformation. That's where you died. Something inside you died so that you could be reborn into something better. And so I have a great chart here for you. Really, if we take a look at the beginning right over here, who do I want to be during COVID? Well, maybe most of us started in the fear zone, like almost all of us started in the fear zone, right? And so that fear had to somehow die for us to move forward. Okay, otherwise we're just going to be like the past picture of my son. You saw him all wrapped up, right? And so maybe we moved into, we gotta learn something, and we learned something. We started identifying our emotions or something like that. Okay. And so you move out of, fear dies and you learn into the learning mode. Or maybe you jumped a couple spots and you actually started to grow. You became more empathetic with yourself and with others, right? Or maybe you look for a way to adapt to new changes, okay? Or maybe you just jumped way ahead, or maybe you even started a learning zone, but then you moved into the leadership zone, and not really just looking at yourself to main degree, but actually helping others, executing plans, aligning with a team and teaming up with people, maybe Zoom calls or whatever it was, to be able to work through whatever you had to work through. Still outside in that special world. You have not gone back home yet. You haven't gone back to the ordinary. So what died, and what did you transform into? Okay, so go ahead and answer that question, and I will see you on the flip side of this. Okay, so here we are, phoenixes, right? We rise from the fire, whether it was a full-on major personal crisis, and we come out of it and we learn something and become something different, or maybe it was something smaller. Okay, like for example, when I went to the store and I couldn't believe it, there were no tortillas, right? I mean, you think, okay, so toilet paper, I understand, okay, but come on, tortillas, right? And I live in Torrance, and there are always tortillas, okay, but there weren't, gone, okay. Anyway, that takes us forward into our next step. Let's take a look once again where we were. Okay, so you can see that we basically were in the ordeal. We got shocked by something, moved forward. We pretty much died. Something in us died, so us be able to be reborn, and we had a transformation, and we transformed into something. Well, you know what? What normally happens is we get a gift. Okay, so if we move forward, oh, sorry, I gotta move down a bit. Okay, there we go. We get a gift. Okay, now the gifts can come in different forms. Okay, maybe we learned a secret. Okay, we learned a secret about life, or we learned a secret about ourselves, or we learned a secret about something. That's a gift, right? Or maybe we're actually able to get what we went out for. That's a gift, right? Or maybe we got well, we got healthier somehow, maybe spiritually healthier, physically healthier, socially healthier, intellectually healthier, emotionally healthier. Okay, somehow we got a gift of health. Okay, or maybe we gained friends, we gained new friends in this process, people that helped us out. And there I am. That's a 10th grader. That was me as a 10th grader. Okay. So maybe we, what did we get? What's our gift on the outside? Somehow we gained a gift. What is that gift? Go ahead and pause video here and tell us in a sentence or two what was the gift that you gained. Okay, coming back, and it's finally, yes, we finally get to return to our ordinary life, but we return to our ordinary life changed and different and with gifts, right? And so we return. And how do you return? How do you return home? Okay, so this is another one of those action, just telling us how you did something, action sentences. Did you return with a peace sign, right? There's my son at the beach, photo bombing one of our videos that we were doing. Okay, did you return with a peace sign? Did you return, triumphantly, jogging in with presents and all sorts of things? There's my nephew. He played for Oregon State. Or did you crawl in again, right? I mean, was it just such an ordeal? Even though you've changed, you're still like crawling in. Or did you just fly in, like so excited to talk and tell people what you did and what did you do? So once again, get a verb. How did you come back to home or come back into your ordinary world? Okay, and go ahead and pause video and go ahead and write your sentences. Okay, you are back to your ordinary world, whether that's back home, back to your bedroom, back to your, desk, kitchen, whatever it is. You're back to your normal room. Whether maybe you'd been at a hospital, right? A lot of us have gone to hospitals and finally returned to your regular bed. You have returned, but you returned changed and different and ready to benefit others. Otherwise, we're not just a hero for ourselves, right? To be that hero, we have to pass on benefits to others, right? Not just ourselves. Okay, and so how did you do that? What did you do? There's multiple ways in which we do that. One, let me just take myself into a little mini mode here. One, maybe you brought back the goods, right? Maybe you brought back the food and not just you ate it. You brought back the toilet paper, not just you used it, right? Okay, maybe you brought back those tortillas and whatever they were, if you found them. It took me a long time to find them. I think I finally had to go to Smart and Final to find them. Or maybe you actually brought back a real gift, a physical gift for somebody. Maybe a rose for your mom, or whatever it is. Maybe you brought back a gift, or maybe you brought back, this says, what does it say? Think and be happy. Maybe you brought back a better attitude. So people totally, everyone in your house is going to benefit if you're walking around with a smile, or if you're walking around with a growth mindset, thinking can-do attitude, right? Everyone's going to benefit. It's just like, sun coming into shadow when everyone's down, right? Or maybe you just brought back the story, right? And gave a good story, oh, you wouldn't believe what I had to go through. I remember when the first time I came back again from Bonds, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. There's nothing on the shelves, like literally nothing on the shelves, right? And it was a story to give, right? But with insights also. But I eventually found the stuff I needed. I went to the Marukai, or Tokyo Central, okay? All right, so how did you benefit others, okay? Go ahead and pause video and and we'll see you on the flip side. And coming back in. All right, and that takes us to the end of our journey, the end of our heroic journey. We've had many of these journeys. You know, you've had many of these journeys, and during COVID-19, even before we went on break, during distance learning, or maybe it was after we went on break, or maybe it was just yesterday, right? Every day. But thank you. Go ahead and read and even comment on. That'd be wonderful if you could read and comment on your classmates' journeys. Be respectful, obviously, because we go through crisis. We don't need to push people to take us into that crisis again, right? This is being respectful, being compassionate, and read their journeys. We're going to be turning these stories into video format. That's going to be your next assignment, but you will get instructions on that later. Okay? Go ahead and look through. You might want to refine any of your answers. And great job, and I can't wait to read your stories. Okay, so this is Coach out for now, and we'll be seeing you virtually through Zoom soon.